The year 2012 has already produced some very good candidates for Fight of the Year, but just about everybody is in agreement that there'll be at least one more candidate in the last quarter of 2012, and that will probably happen on October 10th, when Bradon Rios takes on Mike Alvarado in a 140-pound title eliminator at the Home Depot Center in California. It should be a barn burner. For the 26-year-old Rios, there are questions to be answered. The former WBA lightweight champ has failed to make weight in his last two fights, those at 135 pounds. That's why he moved up to 140. And in his last fight against Richard Abril, he went in a heavy favorite, but many people believe that he lost that fight. What we do know about Bradon Rios, though, is he is one of the most exciting fighters in boxing. He comes forward, he is aggressive, and when you stand in front of him, it makes for a great fight. And that's a natural segue to Mike Alvarado, who will be right in front of Rios. This 32-year-old Denver resident is in his first major fight in boxing, even though he is 33-0 with 23 KOs. Now, Rios is certainly the toughest fighter he has faced. And in a recent fight against Bradon Prescott, Alvarado showed his grit and determination. Behind on the scorecards, was able to come back and win in the 10th round by stopping Prescott. He is an all-action fighter with 23 KOs in those 33 wins, and he and Rios will stake their spot out in the center of the ring and slug away. And that brings us to the keys to victory. For Rios, he's got to think defense at least a little. He's a hell-bent for leather kind of a fighter and usually doesn't pay much attention to defense. In this fight, he's got to at least try to block and slip some punches. And he's got to get there first. He wants to make Alvarado know early how powerful he is, and many people believe that the first fighter that hurts the other guy in this match will be the winner. The overhand right's an important punch for Rios. He is very powerful, and he needs just a little bit of range to throw that punch. As for Alvarado, that looks familiar, doesn't it? Got to think defense, the same as Rios. He, too, doesn't concentrate too much on defense. And same as Bradon Rios, he's got to get there first. He needs to plant his flag in the ground by landing something major in the first couple of rounds. And the hooks to the body and the head, the left hooks for Alvarado, will be a key element of this fight. He wants to weaken Rios, who is also a good body puncher. He wants to weaken Rios to the body, and that left hook to the head could be meaningful. So this fight is intriguing. Why? Because it raises more questions when we look at it than it does provide us with easy answers, and that's what makes a great fight. Will Bradon Rios be able to even make the 140-pound limit comfortably? He had trouble making 135. Will his defensive liabilities against a hard puncher that'll be right in front of him, Alvarado, will that prevent him from winning this fight? Or will Mike Alvarado, who's stepping way up in class to fight Rios, be in over his head? These are questions that will be answered on October 10th. It should be a very, very good fight. It's on the card of Nonito Donaire, Tishiaki Nishioka, and I think that could be one of the best doubleheaders we've seen this year. Now, we will have complete coverage of those fights on the Boxing Channel, pre-fight and post-fight. Marcos Villegas will be on hand to anchor the coverage, so tune in.